We're out here in Dunkirk, New York, and we're going to try our hands today with the walleye out here. And using stick baits and of course the Kishel's fish scent. So I want to just show you the effectiveness of the scent on these walleyes. Stick with us for the rest of the day and see what we catch. We're running a stick bait, okay, with a big lip. It's going to take us down to a certain depth we need to be at. But when you're applying the fish scent, you just need to get a few drops on that lure, so it just kind of leaks down that lure, if you would. I like to personally put a lot on the lip, because as that movement of that lure is in the water, it's spreading that profile of the fish scent out. But you only need a few drops, a couple drops in this, and that's it. And people often ask me how often you have to re-lure it. There's no rhyme or reason. When you feel that maybe the stuff is off your lure, reapply. But all you need is a few drops, and that's it.
We're using downriggers today to get down to those bottom fish. That gets us down to the deeper fish. And then our upper fish in the water column from 50 foot and up, we're going to use a flat line back off the planer board, and we're doing that with a Power Pro and a snap weight system.
Look at this is what I like to see, a fish scent being used by the very people on the lake that's livelihood depends on it. But what depth you've kind of been getting them at, Mark?
Anywhere from 50, 55 out to 65.
No road suspension on them, right down low?
They've been everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Picking up Lakers too?
I have not.
Really?
I went out earlier and got a few Lakers probably a month ago. The problem with this part of the year is the water's still cool everywhere, so that they're dispersed.
Yeah.
Once we get into July and the water starts warming up and sets up some kind of pattern, those fish will head to that deep water because they want it cooler, right?
Yeah.
We got a couple last week.
Did you?
Yeah,
I saw one you got was pretty nice. I want to show you. So this is the size walleye that these guys are going to catch, and this is the size walleye I'm going to catch. I just want to set the record straight because, you know, they're all bragging. There's a walleye showing up on the bottom right now.
That's a sheephead. Want to buy?
Ah, sheeper.
Yeah. Yep. Beauty.
With most fish, you try to match up the bait that they might be feeding on with the colors or the action of the lures. In this case, we kind of have a flat lake, so we're looking towards stick baits with different prisms. So we're changing up a variety of colors to see what these walleye want to eat. You got to remember, there's a lot of bait down there that we're competing with, and you got to get something that tickles their fancy. So we were talking a little earlier, so that fish is tasting and smelling at the same time, but it's also feeling the vibration along its lateral lines. So a lot of these lures have various actions to them, and them fish get triggered pretty much by that. So when you give them the full picture of the vibrations, the look of the prisms, and the combination of the fish scent, it creates strikes.
Smallie on there?
Yeah.
A little walleye. A little walleye? That's what we're after. Let me grab a net. Perfect. Nice little 16-incher. Right.
Yeah, just so you have this lure that's going to be in that water being dragged behind a boat, and as this thing's going in the water, this is making that go. I'm kind of exaggerating, but like that. So it's really pushing a lot of vibration. So I like to lure it up in here in the lip, so as it's moving, it's really creating that wake of scent out there. So the simple thing to do is just, and again, I love Mark's bottle, that means it's being used. Is just take that and just put a couple drops and smear it on there if you want, just something like that, and go from there. The other thing with all your lures, if you're using flashers for salmon or anything like that, don't be afraid to put it on that big flasher, because that's going to give you a bigger profile of scent being in that water, right? So that's as simple as it gets. And then when you drop this in the water, the initial part when you put this in the water, you'll actually see this thing start to bleed that oil slick right behind it. You can kind of see it now, and that's what's creating the attraction. Coming in pretty quick, huh?
That's the right flavor.
Yeah.
Hey, Walter.
Yeah, very nice.
Beauty. Let's see it, baby.
How about this, baby? There you go. This product was actually developed out of necessity. Doing an awful lot of fishing, and you get a lot of that fish guts and fish smell on your hands, on your equipment, carving boards, your utensils, everything else. And I wanted a deep, clean soap so when I used it, it cleaned up everything we were touching with it. So I didn't end up with a fishy hands or clothes at the end of the day and going home with it. So it was developed out of necessity. It gets in deep, it lathers up, and it gets rid of all that heavy fish smell. So good in your coolers, anywhere you got some of that fish smell developing, and great for just washing your hands after a catch. Squeaky clean. We've decided, because the walleye fishing has slowed up a little bit, that we're going to go to a little deeper water. We're going to drop down the bottom and try to lift up some Lakers. And what you'll notice with the Lakers, the principle is the same with using the fish scent. The lures change up. We're going to go to spoons, and then we're going to go to flashers, because you want a lot, at that depth, you want a lot of vibration. And we're going to see what happens with these things. I have no doubt we're going to catch a few big lake trout. Now you want to know why I'm so timid. These Lakers will they'll stay right on the bottom there, right? So we drop our cannonballs down right at that depth with the spoons, and you'll begin to see the Lakers come up off that bottom. That's a good one.
What do we have that out? 2 minutes? And you're going to see the spoon that I just put the Kishel's juice on.
He's digging. I knew he'd be pretty green. He came up too easy.
There's a beauty! Listen to him burp.
Oh, it was in his mouth. It came out and hooked him there, yeah.
There you go.
It's a nice solid fish. Apparently you liked what you had out there for dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're gonna get him right back.
Let him live. The same thing with a spoon. What you like to do is put the lure right in the bowl, because as this thing starts wobbling again, it's creating a big profile of scent. So we're gonna get down deep for the Lakers and just put a little in there, rub it on, and that's all you got to do.
Here, give me a little shot while
We'll
you're
give
dishing
Mark
it out.
a little shot.
Attaboy,
Call
thank
it
you,
a day.
sir. How's it feel, Kevin?
Feels heavy.
Good. Listen, I fish for a living, and I have to pay my electric bill and put groceries on the table. So anytime I can stack the odds in my favor, I'm gonna do that. And after years of using this fish, and I've determined that it's almost 2-to-1 difference on catching fish. You end a lot of your light bites, you start getting the lure deeper in the fish's mouth. And the way I see it is, if I can get that lure deeper in the mouth, there's a less chance of them getting off. I can put more fish in the box, and my clients are happy.
I said you're going to need a bigger net.
That's a good fish.
That's a good fish.
And just believe in it. It works. There's days when it makes a huge difference in your catch rate.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There we go. Time to get slimed.
Gotta love a good lake trout, man.
There he
Good
is.
fighters, great fish. That's an old fish. He's probably 15 to 20 years old. You know?
That's a beauty.
Nice, nice.
Right back in. Yeah. So many people all over the world call me on the fish stand. Will it work for this species and work for that species? It took me an enormous amount of years to come up with a formulation that would be a very universal smell to fish. But I feel I finalized a product that a person could just pick out of their tackle box and put it on any type of, whether it be artificial or live bait, both in salt water and fresh water. And whether you're fishing open water or ice fishing, it doesn't matter. I think I've perfected the formulation to the point that I can confidently say, using my product, my fish scent, you're going to consistently catch more fish.